my husband and I were childhood sweethearts. And back in the day, it wasn't like it is today or a generation before. There were songs, when we get married, we'll have a good celebration. Shep in the Limelight, something like that. Everything was centered around getting married. If you fell in love and you found someone you really loved, that's who you married. So we married, and we had our first child, Len. Then we had Michelle. Then we had Jay, and then we had Eric. And we were talking to someone recently in Wildwood, New Jersey, because we used to take our kids on vacations to Wildwood, New Jersey. And it was nobody in Wildwood, New Jersey but white folks. But we were comfortable in our own skin. Why? Because we had the non-marketable within us. We weren't big and bold, but we taught our children that you can have whatever you want. You can go wherever you want, and the world is bigger than our home on Columbia Avenue. So we were always doing something as a family when they were little, always going and doing and vacations and this sort of thing. And my husband is the mortar that held our family together, because I can remember him teaching the kids how to play chess, Len, Jay, and Michelle, how to play chess. I can also remember him trying to make them like the Jackson 5. Come on, you all sing. They're down the basement, and he's trying to get them to harmonize, and wrestling in the floor with his boys. You know, we were just an average family. And then it's a shift into the adolescence, into teenage years. Then, you know, where you're a cluster like this, then, you know, everybody is preparing for independence, more or less, you know, and they want to have their own way and be independent as such. So they took on different interests, you know, where it was clutter, family, all of us, you know, well, this one is going this place, this one has basketball practice, this one is playing volleyball at the rec, this one is here, there. I can remember we had bought Jay and Len. Both of them had liked football. So back in the day, they had these football uniforms that you could get from Murphy's 5 and Dime or Toys R Us, and they called them suicide helmets. They were just the little cheap sets that they put on. So the boys were interested in football. And so when we bought our home, we were in a community, a beautiful community where all of our children attended the same elementary school, the same middle school, the feeder schools, all the way up to Northwestern. All 4 of our kids graduated. But when they had a playground, a community center, Columbia Park, and Len played football for a while and Jay played football, then they just went to basketball. And Michelle enjoyed dancing and singing. And Eric was the baby. He was just rotten. That's all. We just spoiled him. But they all had interests, but what they had more than anything else was the love they had for one another. They enjoyed each other as brothers and sisters. And when I had to work, my husband worked, Len would let the little ones in from elementary school, and they would come in and they would all get settled and do what they had to do. And Len was in like the 6th or 7th grade then. He would let them in. When we come home, we would get the baby from the babysitter, and then we would bring him in. But what I know in having to bury my sons was that we gave our best. Were we perfect? No. But we gave our best, and our motive was for our children to be bound together. So now, I'm fast forwarding a little bit, my daughter is married, and her kids, all grown, are the same way our kids were. They're clustered. She won't know what's going on. They're all grown now. They're all adults and have their own jobs and professions and all, but they still cling. So that thing that my husband would not tolerate is you're not going to be fighting your brother and your sister and arguing all the time. They had disagreements, but it's not going to be this thing where it's going to be any bitterness in this house, because this is where you come to have peace. This is where you come. So she passed that on to her children with her husband.